Hello and welcome to New Parents in Training. So today I got the new Galaxy S22 phone. So this one is much smaller compared to the S21. Look at the size of the case. It's much smaller. So today I'm going to unbox this, and afterward I'm going to show you how you be able to get this phone very cheap. Now, obviously, if you go with contract with different carrier, they might give you the phone for free. But my method is to get the unlocked phone and under $90. So yeah, I got this quite cheap. Anyway, let me unbox this. Okay, here we go. So here's the phone. I opt for the white color, so the back of it is white. And here is the booklet and also cable, USB-C cable. Terms and conditions, quick start guide, and the pin to eject your SIM card. So that's it. Very minimal inside of what they provided. There's no more charger. I think that for S21 it didn't come with a charger either, but the case itself is much smaller. Now let's see, here's the tab in the front. Now the material that they use is definitely a little bit upscale compared to what they have for the S21. Now the back, I know a lot of people complain, even on my channel, that the back of S21 it was no longer glass. It went for a heavy duty type of plastic, but for S22 they went back to glass. So this will give a little bit more premium touch to it. Anyway, the SIM card tray is also on the bottom, and the speaker is also on the bottom as well. Now there are a couple buttons on the side, the volume and the on and off button. And also they still going for the 3 camera setup. There's still a bump on the camera side, so yeah, it still rocks quite a bit. You definitely need to get a case. I'll show you what I got for the case itself. Alright, so let me go charge this up, and meanwhile I'm going to show you how you can get this S22 cheaply under $90. Alright, so let me show you how to save on buying this S22. Now for one thing, I do have a 5% off referral link for Samsung that I'll put in the description below. So if you don't want to follow my method, you can at least save 5% by using the referral link. So that way, at least something, right? Well, first, going to the website. So as you can see, the default they select for you is $149.99 for the S22 base model, the 6.1 inch. Now, 256 gig, most of people might not need to use as high, so you can select the 128 gig, which is already down to $99.99 after trade-in. So let's talk about the trade-in. So this is where you can save a lot. Now the maximum you can save is up to $700 in terms of trade-in credit. Now if you have some older Samsung phone, you can select maybe Z Fold 3 or S20 Ultra to trade in for that $700 credit. Now let's say if you have something that's older, for instance the S5G phone. Now that's only offering $325, right? But Samsung has this such great trade-in program. They let you stack another trade-in. So if you have another phone lying around, yeah, by all means, you want to trade that one in, do so as well, and just stack up on top of this saving that you already have. But if you don't have a phone, if you have a tablet, you can do so as well. Or if you have a watch that you want to trade in, they take that as well. So once you select what you need, then hit the yes, I agree. But let's say if I do have something that's $700, right? Total of $700. and I'll do a trade. So now the price is $999, right? Now, the Samsung offer programs, so they have different tiers. They have education, first responder, government, employee, military. So if you qualify for any of those, then you can select that and you will save on top of whatever the final price is. Let's say, for instance, the first responder offer. Now I can save extra $5 off. So that brings the price down to $94.99. Now the last trick that I want to show you is on top of that. If you don't know what Rakuten is, you should download it. I'll put the link in the description below as well. So here I can activate another 3% cashback. Now for Rakuten, it's quite interesting. Now every now and then they have incentive for you to shop, so they give you more percentage back. Now as far as for Samsung, I have seen as high as 12% cashback. And when I purchased my S22, it was 10% cashback. Now at the time of filming, it only runs at 3%. But by all accounts, you should download this extension so that way you won't miss out on any future saving. Now with the Rakuten 3% cashback activated, remember what I mentioned earlier about the 5% referral link? That's total of 8% off on top of the $94.99. So do a quick calculation, that dropped the price down to $87.39. You can drop the price quite significantly if you use my method. All right, so let's compare the phones a little bit between the S21 and S22. Toward the end, I'll share with you whether or not you should upgrade. Both of them are very similar. Aside from the fact that the S22 is a tiny little bit smaller than the S21. Aside from that, the screen itself has dynamic AMOLED. So you will get a really great viewing when you're watching movies or watching YouTube and playing games. So there's no problem there whatsoever. Now the processor, granted, S22 is a little bit better with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So it's a little bit more efficient compared to S21, the Snapdragon 888. Now as far as for RAM, they both have 8 gig of RAM. For both models, I got the 128 gig storage. As far as for the camera goes, the S22 has few upgrades. For one, the main camera now is 50 megapixel compared to the 12 megapixel of S21. Now for the ultra wide, both of them still have the same 12 megapixel camera. For the telephoto lens for S22 is actually now at 10 megapixel compared to the 64 megapixel of the S21. Even though the megapixel is lower, but the aperture for the S22 is larger at 2.4 compared to the 2.0 for the S21. So that means you actually get better picture with the lower megapixel count. Now, as far as for in real world tests, I took some pictures. I can't really tell the difference. S22 is just slightly better. When the pictures come out, S22 seems to be more in the warmer side. Aside from that, both phones have really great cameras. The front camera hasn't changed. It's still the same 10 megapixel front with the 2.2 aperture. One thing that caught my surprise was when I tried to take pictures in really dark places. The S22 actually came out much better in terms of the picture quality. Now I had to double look on the picture I have taken because the picture seemed to be taken from a room that was lit, but it was not. the room was actually dark, but the picture came out very clear from the S22 versus the S21. The last thing I want to mention is the battery. The battery for the S22 is actually smaller than the S21, coming in at 3700 milliamp compared to the 4000 milliamp in the S21. Now, I did a test. Granted, it's not scientific because the fact that my S21 is a year old and my S22 is brand new, but for the testing purpose, I have already transferred everything, all the apps from S21 to my S22, and I charged them both to 100% before I do the battery test. So what I ended up doing is just playing a YouTube video for 10 minutes to see how much the battery will drain from either phone. So what I have seen was the battery come out to be relative the same. At 10-minute mark, they both were at 98%. So the S22 seemed to be a little bit more efficient compared to the S21, with the S22 having a smaller battery. Should you upgrade? I guess that's the question, right? The S22 is from the outside, it is a little bit smaller than S21, but the feel is a little bit more upscale because now it has the glass back. And the hardware themselves has a little bit of upgrade, but not really that much. So the question comes down to, can you or can you not get the incentive from Samsung? If you're able to get the incentive from Samsung, yes, by all means, do the upgrade. Because when I upgrade from my S20 to my S21, it didn't cost me all that much. And then from my S21 to my S22, it continued not to cost me all that much. Like my trading value is way higher than the amount of money that I actually pay for each phone. So to me, it makes sense to upgrade each year to get a new phone, to get new features. And then by the time they roll out S23, then I'll be able to trade in at the higher value versus if I have older phone to trade in. For those of you who has much older phone or cannot enjoy the incentive that Samsung is giving out, then I think it might be wise to go with S21 because the fact that both phones are really similar. So now, as promised, I show you what I got for the S22 case. I got two of them. One is from Samsung. The other one is from this company called Taurus. Both of them are in the same price range, under $20. But as far as for the Samsung one, I have a Samsung case for my S21. And that thing is, after a year of use, is starting falling apart. So I'm kind of iffy about keeping the Samsung phone case. But as far as for the Taurus, it seems to be pretty solid. I haven't used it before, so I'm just gonna give it a try. Anyway, so if you have any questions, comment down below. Until next time, bye.